Steve, another fantastic game. What's your thoughts to it?
Yeah, no, it was a good game. I think that in the first half we were okay, but we just got stuck a little bit. And they played very well. I felt in the first half. We got stuck a little bit, and then of course, whilst we want the crowd to be noisy, what happens then is they get anxious noisy, and then what happens is the players get even more anxious. So, to be honest, today was my best half-time team talk since I've been here, by a mile. And it was nice and calm, which I'm not always. And I sat down on a level with them, and we tweaked a couple of things. That was beginning to work a little bit in the second half, but then we get the penalty. I've just looked back and it's the first penalty we've had this season. So for us to get a penalty is actually, when I look at it, a novelty, and to have a red card against us has been a novelty. We've been on the back end of a couple of red cards that we think were soft. Mark might have an opinion on whether he thinks that one's soft, and that would be fair enough if he wanted to have that opinion. But it's the first time really that I would say, and to be fair, up until then, I wouldn't have said, looking at that game, that the referee would have given us a penalty. I wouldn't have been certainly confident of that as the game was panning out. And then Kyle, he done really, really well to play today, because he wasn't very well yesterday, and I wouldn't say he was off colour today, but he wasn't his normal self, and he was fantastic today. And we've got a few lads that will take penalties and be cool in those situations, but it was a great penalty by him. And then of course, when you get the disruptions, the taking of the time, and we all understand it. I understand why we're doing it. The only thing is, it doesn't make it any easier to keep the tempo of the game up, to keep the crowd boisterous. But they did it, and I just said in there to them, I'm really, really pleased for them, because it's a great dressing room. It really is. I've got some good staff. I love all the players. I love them all. I know I don't always like them in moments, but I always love them, and they've deserved that today. They've deserved those 3 points today. And when you look at how things have going, we've had a few draws of late, and I think in those draws there's been games that we deserve to win. Not all of them, but there's been games we've deserved to win, and something's gone against us, either a deflection or 3 or 4 missed chances. But it was nice today that, I don't know, maybe we got that rub of the green a little bit today. But in the end, you have to work hard to get that rub of the green, and they did that. And I'm really, really pleased for them tonight. Really, so pleased. I'm pleased for everybody. Obviously, you're pleased for your players, because, as I've said before, until you go out in that arena and receiving that ball under pressure and having to make everything perfect, it's really difficult to understand just how much pressure. And there's pressure on our boys every week, because everybody raises their game. They want to come here. They want to win. And today was obviously, it was going to be a difficult game anyway. Obviously, with Mark, who'd had great success at Forest Green, coming back with his team, he would have had them well fired up for today. So, it was a good win for us in the end.
When Yeovil went down to 10, it could have been easy to quite panic and rush, but I thought your team were quite calm and going through the phases.
Well, so for me, we weren't quite calm in the first half, but that's where the anxiety around the stadium kicks in a little bit. And as I said before, you want them to be boisterous and for you, but sometimes it can work when the anxiety is the other way a little bit. And I thought we were patient. We changed slightly, and then the substitutes, I thought, come on and done really, really well. So yeah, I think the lads were really good today, and we did deserve the 3 points for me in the end. Yeah.
It's a word on Ryan Ennis. Doesn't score with his head, does he? He doesn't, the big man, but good to finish that the goal in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think he's been very consistent for us this season. I do say to the centre backs, Geordie got one earlier in the season, Ryan got one on the first game away at Aldershot. So it is nice when your other positions around the team, and certainly if you're centre backs, and for somebody that is so strong and so dominant in the air, he probably should score more goals than he has done. But it's a work in progress. Not everything happens at once.
We keep talking about the undefeated stretches now. 99 days since you last lost. It's going to go into 100 tomorrow. How important is it to keep going with that?
Well, interview us tomorrow. 100 sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look, I don't know. It's nice to have it. I had a couple of great unbeaten runs. I think when I was at Cheltenham, I think we went 25 games one year. We went 22 games another year. So, if we can match those achievements, it'll be great. But there's going to be plenty of other obstacles in our way, and we've got to try and navigate our way around those obstacles and keep pressing forward.